Have you ever stopped to think about food as something more than just fuel? What if it's actually a super sophisticated weapon your body uses to fight off disease? Well, today we're diving deep into the powerful, science backed connection between clinical nutrition and our immune system. This quote right here, it really captures this massive shift that's happening in medicine. For so long, nutrition was kind of seen as, well, a helpful sidekick. But now, scientists and doctors are realizing it's a main character in the story of our health. It's a total rethink of how we approach patient care, and it's happening right now. And this shift couldn't be happening at a better time. From autoimmune disorders to certain cancers, diseases that involved a haywire immune system are on the rise, all over the world. This huge health challenge is forcing the medical community to look for new strategies, to look beyond the usual playbook. And that's exactly where nutrition is stepping into the spotlight. Okay, so how does this actually work on a scientific level? Let's get into the nitty-gritty of how the food we eat directly builds and commands our body's defense forces. So, let's start with this amazing concept called nutritional immunity. I want you to think of it like a biological tug-of-war. When a pathogen, like a nasty bacteria, gets in, your body does something brilliant. It intelligently hides away key nutrients, especially metals like iron and zinc, to literally starve the invaders and stop them from growing. It's a built-in defense strategy, and it's happening inside you all the time. And this table here, it shows you that battle in action. On the left, you see our bodies move, sequestration, which is just a fancy word for hiding. Our own proteins like ferritin and calprotectin act like little guards, locking up iron, zinc, and manganese. But pathogens are smart. Check out the right side. They fight back. To get that iron, they release things called cytophores. Think of them as tiny magnets designed to steal the iron back. For zinc, they deploy these special high-affinity transporters, which are like super-powered vacuum cleaners. It is a constant, microscopic arms race for resources. But wait, it gets even more complicated. It's not just a two-way fight. There's a third major player, the trillions of microbes living in our gut. This here is the immune triangle. So, step one, what you eat shapes which microbes thrive in your gut. Step two, those microbes then digest your food, especially fiber, and produce brand new compounds like short-chain fatty acids. And then step three, and this is the amazing part, those compounds act like little messengers that literally talk to our immune cells, telling them when to gear up for a fight and when to calm down. So remember, you're not just feeding yourself, you're feeding an entire ecosystem that helps run your immune system. So if our bodies are this sophisticated, how can we actually use this knowledge in a hospital setting? Well, that brings us to the high-stakes world of immunonutrition, where food is no longer just for general health, it's a prescribed medical treatment. In a place like the ICU, for a critically ill patient, nutrition completely transforms. It is not about enjoying a meal, it's a life-sustaining therapy. We're talking about specialized formulas, often delivered through a feeding tube, that are a core part of their medical treatment. They're specifically designed to manage and control that patient's immune and inflammatory response. And that practice has a name: immunonutrition. It's the strategic use of food as medicine. We're talking about formulas that are packed with specific nutrients to help steer the immune system in the right direction, especially for patients who are under extreme physical stress from things like major surgery, trauma, or severe illness. So what's actually in these special formulas? Well, this slide lists some of the all-stars. These are often called pharmaconutrients because they're used in doses that are so high they can have almost drug-like effects. You've got amino acids like arginine and glutamine, anti-inflammatory omega-3s, and powerful antioxidants like vitamin C and E. Each one is in there for a very specific therapeutic reason. And the goals here are laser-focused. For a patient who's just had major surgery or a terrible injury, these formulas are designed to do three things: calm down out-of-control inflammation, keep the gut wall strong so new infections can't get in, and give their immune cells the exact fuel they need to do their job properly. Okay, and this is a really important but, this is where things get incredibly complex. This is not a silver bullet. It's not a simple case of more is always better. The science is really nuanced, and what helps one patient might actually harm another. In immunonutrition, context is everything. Let's take the amino acid glutamine. It's the perfect example of this complexity. As you can see, guidelines strongly recommend it for patients with severe burns or trauma. It helps them heal. But for critically ill patients who have sepsis or multiple organ failure, some major studies found that it could actually make things worse and potentially increase mortality. It's the exact same nutrient, but it has dramatically different effects depending on the patient's condition. And look, this isn't just some academic debate. This quote is from major European clinical guidelines. The top experts looked at all the evidence, and they basically said, whoa, because there's a risk of harm here, we can't just give these immune-boosting formulas to every single person in the ICU. It just goes to show how careful doctors have to be. So what's the big takeaway here? It's this. There is no one magic formula. The right nutritional therapy has to be personalized. It all depends on the specific patient, what's wrong with them, and even what phase of their illness they're in. The nutritional plan for the first 24 hours of a critical illness might be totally different from the recovery phase a week later. But all this complexity, it's actually pushing the whole field toward a really, really exciting new frontier. We're starting to move away from these general one-size-fits-all formulas and towards something much more personalized. And that future is called precision immunonutrition. The whole idea is to design nutritional therapy that's tailored to a single patient's unique biological fingerprint. We're talking about their genes, their specific metabolism, and what their immune system is doing at that exact moment. To put it really simply, the goal is to get away from the one-size-fits-all approach for good. The future is all about creating nutritional treatments that are perfectly in sync with a person's individual biology, and that can change and adapt as their condition changes. So, I'll just leave you with this thought. We are entering a new era where nutrition isn't just supportive care anymore, it's becoming a precision tool. So, what if, in the very near future, your diet could be prescribed with the same level of precision and personalization as your medicine? That's the incredible future we're heading towards.